You are listening to Sindel, Daughter of Goku Chapter 3, Rewrite Part 2. You can still listen to the original version of Chapter 3 on my channel. Chapter 3 Part 2. Raditz stumbled his way into the cave where he left Sindelia, his injuries severe but his resolve unshaken. He had Sindelia, he could use her as a bargaining chip if needed. As he approached her, he didn't just take her from Kakaro's home. He took many of the things that would be familiar to her, to keep her calm and to take care of her. He didn't know how long he would have her, but he knew that she was going to be crucial for his plans. Raditz sat down and pulled out his scouter to call Vegeta and Nappa.
Vegeta, I'm reporting in,
Raditz said into his scouter.
You failed.
Vegeta's voice responded coldly.
No, I haven't. I have something even better than Kakarot.
Raditz said.
Better than Kakarot, your lousy brother, couldn't even complete his own mission.
Nappa sneered.
I need evacuation immediately.
Raditz said, ignoring Nappa's remark.
Raditz, you little runt. I should kill you for your failure.
Vegeta said coldly.
But I guess your trip to Earth wasn't entirely pointless.
What do you mean?
The Dragon Balls.
Vegeta said in a tone that was meant to make Raditz feel stupid.
If what that other guy was saying is true, and they can grant any wish well that works out in our favor, if we can get our hands on them, we can wish for immortality, and we will become Super Saiyans. That's more powerful than any of us could ever dream of. Now about Kakarot's brat. That boy is half Saiyan. We can't ignore that power level and potential. I never thought that breeding with those weaklings would produce such a result.
Hey Runt, are you sure your scouter was working right? No child can have a power level of 1200.
Nappa asked.
It was working fine. They seemed to have the ability to change their power level. That's why I need to get off this rock. I need medical attention.
Raditz said, gritting his teeth.
Raditz, you runt, you make me sick. Just die already.
Nappa said with a small laugh.
Raditz, I don't care if you die of your injuries or not, but if I ever see your face again, I'll kill you myself. You've done nothing but hold us back. You're nothing more than a low-class weakling. You bring shame upon the Saiyan race. Die of your injuries, or die the next time I see your stupid face. I don't care as long as you just die.
Vegeta said, and the scouter went silent. Raditz threw his scouter across the cave. He knew they hated him and looked down on him, but he didn't expect that. There were so few Saiyans left now. He pulled out another communicator and made a call to someone he hadn't spoken to in a while.
Shadow, I need your help.
Raditz said into the communicator.
I'm listening.
Shadow's calm and collected voice responded.
I need your help. I'm on a planet called Earth. I need medical attention and a ship.
Raditz hoped she would be close enough to him to come sooner rather than later.
All right, I'll be there soon. But you better have something good to offer me for this favor.
Raditz smirked. If he remembered right, she owed him a favor, not the other way around.
You forget. I saved your life back on planet Qatar. You owe me one.
Fine, but I'm still coming for that favor you owe me.
Shadow said, and the communicator went silent again. Raditz looked at Sindelia sleeping peacefully in her crib. He did know that he wouldn't be able to hide here forever. Vegeta and Nappa would be here in a year at most, and he needed to get off this planet before they arrived. He had to find a way to get stronger than Vegeta and Nappa both. With Shadow on her way now, he may be able to utilize his Saiyan lineage. Have her nearly kill him and heal him, and get stronger that way. But that process could be slow, and if he used it too much, the gains would get smaller and smaller every time. He could use his Great Ape form, as he had full control over it, but Vegeta and Nappa did as well, and they were both much stronger than he was, so unless he cut off their tails, it wouldn't do him much good. Shadow could heal him and train him, that was for sure. Maybe he could convince Shadow to join him for good this time. But she was the universe's most feared assassin. She was a Shauharthian, and those people had all kind of strange powers. And she had trained in the darkest parts of those powers. She became so strong, her family and race tried to kill her. Shauharth is one of a few planets Frieza has avoided as their race is incredibly strong and powerful. Raditz knew Shadow was a wild card. She didn't care for the Saiyan race or her own race. If he was being honest, she didn't care for anyone at all outside of her target. But she owed him a favor, and he was going to cash in on it. He had to get off this planet and get stronger if he was going to survive the wrath of Vegeta and Nappa. And if he could convince her to stay, he might just have a chance to put Vegeta in his place and end Frieza's hold over them. That is the real reason he was sent for Kakarot in the first place. He remembered that his mother told him that his father had been worried about Frieza looking into the legend of the Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan God before the planet had been destroyed. Raditz's vision started to become blurry, and his head spun as he blacked out. Raditz was awakened by someone shaking him. He opened his eyes to see a figure in black armor covered in a black hooded cloak standing over him.
Who did this to you?
Shadow asked, her eyes gleaming with a mix of curiosity and concern.
My nephew,
Raditz murmured, the pain still etched on his face.
Ah, so you found Kakarot. I see you got your ass kicked.
Shadow said with a smirk.
How old is your nephew?
I don't know. He's just a brat.
Impressive. But if you want my help, you better start being more specific.
Shadow said as she took a seat beside him. Raditz explained everything that had happened since his arrival on Earth. He told her about Kakarot, Gohan, Sindalia, and the Dragon Balls.
I've heard of those things. They're rare and usually only found on planet Namek.
Shadow said thoughtfully.
Well, they're here now, and I need them to wish for immortality.
Raditz said with determination.
I need to get to them before Vegeta does.
Shadow chuckled.
That's a wasted wish. What good is something that never ends? Besides, immortality will only hold you back. What you need is power, and that can come both easily and hard at the same time. Saiyans have always relied heavily on their great ape forms to win battles. That is what kept them weak, and it also kept them alive as long as it did. Also, King Vegeta didn't like it when Saiyans got close to his power or even exceeded it. Those who did were either killed or banished for it.
What are you getting at?
Raditz asked.
Relying on one form is what makes you weak. However, training is the fastest way to gain power, and as a Saiyan, the harder you train, the stronger you become. Going to your limits in battle is another way of getting stronger.
Will you heal me already?
Raditz snapped.
Yes, I will, but on one condition.
Shadow said with a glint in her eyes.
What condition?
I've been looking for a mate for some time. A strong one. I want to train you, make you strong enough to be my match. And when you are, we will fight. If you win, I will stay with you as you've been asking. If you lose, you will leave me alone forever, and I will never speak to you again.
I thought you hated Saiyans?
You could say I hate everyone if you like. I don't get along with anyone for long periods of time. But I respect strength and power, and if you're strong enough to beat me, then maybe I'll think differently of you. Don't hold your breath, though.
Raditz nodded in agreement. He didn't have much of a choice if he wanted to live and get off this planet.
But for now, let's get you patched up, and then we can talk more about it.
Shadow said as she had him take off his armor so she could better access his injuries.
They did a number on you.
Shadow placed her hands over his wounds and began to heal him. Raditz felt the warmth spread through his body, closing the gaps in his skin and putting it back together. When she was done, the wounds were gone and there was no scar left behind.
All right, first things first, what are you going to do with her?
Shadow asked, pointing to Sindelia.
I was planning to use her as a bargaining chip with Kakarot, but since he's dead...
Well, I guess that's not going to work out for you anymore, is it?
Shadow said with a smirk.
I can still use her to get what I want.
Raditz said coldly.
Where we are going, we won't have time for a baby. Besides, she's not going to be any use to us unless she is at least 4 years old and able to begin training.
Shadow looked at the sleeping Sindel and then back at Raditz.
Leave her here.
Shadow said firmly.
What? No, she's my insurance.
Raditz protested.
She will only slow us down. And if you truly want to survive and become stronger than Vegeta and Nappa, you will need to focus on your training, not on a baby.
Raditz looked at his niece for a moment. He looked at her face, and once again he was reminded of his mother. For some reason, he didn't want to leave her.
She comes with us.
Fine.
Shadow said with a sigh.
But she will be your responsibility.
The two of them left the cave. Raditz grabbed everything and followed Shadow to her ship. Raditz knew that taking Sindel was a risk, but he didn't want to leave her behind. He had a strange feeling that she was going to be important to him in some way. As the ship took off into the night sky, Raditz looked back at the planet that had given him so much grief. He'd be back in a year to fight Vegeta and Nappa. But by then he would be ready. With Shadow's help he would become stronger. Thank you for listening to Sindel, Daughter of Goku, Chapter 3 Rewrite Part 2. If you like this story, please give this video a like. If you like to hear more stories like this one, subscribe to the Dark Divine Stories channel. If you like to hear more stories with different voices for each character, make sure to subscribe because more stories like this chapter are coming. It also helps support my channel and tells me you like the content I'm making. The voices for this video are in the description below. Thank you again for listening.